So we're picking up where we left off here, Mel. It's your turn, brother. You got Jamel out here. He's boy. I still got to shoot some more stuff today. We're picking up where we left off. A lot of times it's good to put people in real-time scenarios where they can learn a little bit more about their business. Hey, where'd you get these grandpa shoes from?
Man, these are some New Balances.
I seen that. Them grandpa New Balances.
Fort Worth Running Company.
Hey, shout out to Fort Worth Running Company. I don't know if you're in Fort Worth. Stop by, get your pair of shoes. I've never been there, but if he's got them on, they must be good. That being said, I don't really have a dog that's super bad. Like we were just thinking like, okay, who's really not gonna listen? Again, I don't want perfect dogs for me, but my dogs will sit here and assist, especially the big ones, for 2 minutes if I needed to, as long as I got what they want. So I'd be like, none of them are like awful. They're not awful. And as you see, they're not running off. Bam charge. If I go over to the other side of the fence, he'll come on the other side of the fence. So this is not going to be the best case scenario. But it's about communication because they can all be better. So I know that last week or a couple weeks ago, we worked on his down a little bit again. He knows how to sit to a degree, but not excessively. And then Jamarcus is trying to learn how to be better at his communication skills with the dog. So Stan's going to teach Jamarcus how to keep his dog safe. Go ahead, chastise him. Put him on a leash.
What questions do you have, sir?
So my question is, if I just bought that guy, once again, what purpose does it serve? What problem am I trying to solve with my dog if I'm buying that guy?
Keep your dog safe.
Keep my dog safe. Okay. So keep my dog safe. What is the foundation of that?
Engagement. I mean, does the dog want to be with you? If the dog wants to be with you, the likelihood that it's going to run off and go somewhere else is very low.
Okay. And so what do I got to do to keep my dog engaged so that my dog doesn't run off? Or more importantly, if he does run off, I want him to come back.
Have something that they value.
Okay. So have something that value, and what can that be? Treats? What are we working with?
Treats, balls, tugs, love and affection, all the above.
There you go. So walk me through that process. So you said engagement is that step. Is that step one to this process?
Finding whatever their trigger is.
Okay.
So
I just got a brand new puppy.
Mm-hmm.
I just want him to listen. I want him to come back. I want him to be with me. I don't want him running off. Like I said, if the door opens, I don't want what's step one in the process. If I get a brand new puppy and I just want him to be engaged, I want him to listen.
I'd have them on a leash, and again, something that they value. So hot dogs, cheese, treats, dog food, whatever they're going to value, and then they have to know that it comes through and from you.
Okay. And then from there, so then what do I do next? Okay, we're talking about engagement. So then what's step one to building engagement?
Find something he likes.
Okay, so we already highlighted that, but what's next after that? So we're building onto this. What's next? What do I do next? Okay, he likes treats. What do I do after that?
All right, show him you got it.
Okay. Bam, bam. Do I give it to him?
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go. And now what do I do?
So what question are you asking?
I'm asking you. I'm asking you about the purpose of your guide, right? And you're telling to keep a dog safe. And then, okay, how do we do that? You say we build engagement. So I'm going to try to understand, okay, I'm building engagement, but what's the purpose of me building engagement? What am I doing? Walk me through building the engagement process.
So you have to be interesting for the dog. So again, if you go that way, he should want to follow you because he knows you got something for him.
Gotcha. So you want to put me in different scenarios that are going to create. Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't think I understand your question. You're saying how do you build engagement?
Yeah, you
build engagement by showing the dog that you got something they like. So playing with your dog, engaging, show them you got treats, moving around with them, pushing them around, all of these things.
So what does that look like?
Play with your dog. Like, good boy, yeah.
There we go.
Good job, good job, good job. Get him engaged with you.
Okay.
And that's going to make him want to interact with you. Like, your dog should want to be with you more than anything else. If you're going to open a door and your dog wants to go out there, you don't have a good relationship. Your dog should be looking for guidance from you. And it all starts with you showing them, hey, I'm important. So if I had him, he already knows once I open this pocket, he's getting something. Mm-hmm. Because we've shown him that every time I open this pocket, he gets something. And I can get him to do anything that I want him to do with this lure.
Gotcha.
Good boy.
Okay. And then after I build a little bit of engagement, then now what do I do? What's next to keeping my dog safe after engagement?
I don't. Again, you're asking the same question.
But that's the thing, and that's the question.
So guys, let me interject here. Jamarcus actually sucks at getting points across, just so we're clear. And most people wouldn't call him that, but I understand his frustration because the other day I had to check Jamarcus. He kept repeating the same thing to somebody who's smarter than 9 out of 10 people, and I said, so when I raised my voice, he calmed the fuck down. I said, don't keep repeating yourself to me. If you're not communicating effectively, then you need to take a deep breath and figure out what you're saying. Now, the purpose of this exercise objectively is to ask Stan to help direct the path. Step one, you want your dog engaged, involved in anything and all things that you're doing. Right now, Bam Bam has already showed signs of being interested in the people that are out here, even though he's in an open space. Some dogs come outside, boom, they hit every part of the yard, be gone. My dogs want to be around me because I've practiced that since day one. What does that look like in my book? Holding the dog, I wrap them in my clothes, I turn around and I'm always like, if I grab him, see that reactive? A lot of times dogs start acting crazy, right? Even when you do this, they'll start jumping back. He's comfortable in my hands no matter what I'm doing to him. I grab his back legs. See? Dogs will turn around and start snipping and biting at people. My dogs, as you saw, I had him by the back of his hips too, to be clear. That's an uncomfortable spot for you to grab a dog. 9 out of 10 of your dogs ain't gonna let you grab them here and hold their skin and not turn around and respond. I've grabbed, harassed, and touched my dogs everywhere since he was definitely, I was looking at old videos last night, for 4 weeks. So when we start talking about recall, engagement, keeping your dog involved in what you're doing, it starts objectively with love, in my experience. But the first line of interest is always gonna be here, because to survive, you must eat. And I've watched it literally. I've recorded everything from day one with the pups that are in there. Even with their eyes closed, I put a 3-piece hill up, and they were, my girl was motivated to get over the hill to get to her mother to eat. So what do you start doing? Come out and Stan has treats. Boom, excite them. And then you start using words to talk about placement, so they understand the value of every movement, because everything you're doing is of value to you and the dog, right? It keeps them engaged. So he's building engagement, which takes how long?
Depends on the dog, really.
There you go. So if you got a dumbass dog,
It takes a little bit longer.
then it's gonna take a little bit longer. If you have a dog that's intelligent like the ones I breed for, I breed intelligence. I can't stand a dumb dog like I can't stand a dumb person. Them kind of people, you can do nothing but stupid. I promise you that. You can't win an argument with stupid, none of that stuff. So I like the fact that he's already focused. We worked on that at 4 weeks old. That's the thing, I got the videos, I was holding him on the table, down, up, just with simple treats. So when guys like Stan, I say, Stan, you know, I want to tighten up Bam Bam a little bit. What can we do? He said, oh, this dog go down, this dog go this. Then you know what he tells me? Practice some more of your patience. Because now it's just a matter of practice and patience. How many times a week should someone be working, or how many times a day? But if you had to give them a week, would you encourage somebody to work on getting their dog engaged? And how long does it take to keep your dog focused on you and what you want your dog to do?
So 7 times a week, you should be doing something with your dog. And I mean, mealtime is the most beneficial time, because you're gonna feed your dog every day. They're gonna be paying attention. So you can get a lot of positive repetitions. You want the dog to do the things right. So if you want them to sit, they need to be getting rewarded in that sit. And then you also wanna give an endpoint so they know when they're done with that command. It's just like clocking into work. You scan your badge, and at the end of the day, you're done. So we gotta let the dogs know when they're done working with us. So every day you should be spending at the very least 5 minutes a day with your dog doing something that they like.
5 minutes a day will keep them dogs away from their street to car and potentially harming themselves or frightening you, to be clear. What are some other things they could do to work on engagement outside of treats? Realistically, just connected to, right?
Playing ball or tug, or dogs like this that like to engage, wrestle around. You've seen puppies play with each other. Do the same thing that puppies do with each other. Be fun for them. A lot of people want their dog to be military dictator, and that just doesn't work. Think about people that yell and scream and fuss at you. You don't really want to listen to what they're saying, but people that inspire you to be better and do more with your life, you're going to do more for that. It's the same thing with the dog. You have to speak their language. And sometimes, some dogs, I had a dog that didn't take any treats, that didn't want a ball, but every time he came to me, he rolled over and I rubbed his belly. And we've trained that dog, and he was one of the better dogs we got trained, actually.
And all he needed was love.
All he needed was some love. That's all he wanted.
Isn't that crazy?
Actually.
So we talked about this before. We'll do a small series. Every dog, in my experience, has a love language like a human being. And so for some dogs, it's quality time. Ego, if I'm in the bed, he don't get out the bed. I can literally leave the door open, let all the other dogs out. He's like, nah, I'm gonna stay in this bed for a little bit longer. So I always give him an extra hour, even when I take them out at 9 or 6. And he don't go till about 11 because he's good. He don't want to rush to do nothing. Some dogs need physical touch. I could never get Maya's a super food driven, but when I wanted her to drag the bag, if I pet her, she would walk. If I gave her a treat, she'll go and she'll walk past the treat. But if you pet her, she's good. Tron's, in some sense, the same way. You pat him, and it'll work him up a little bit. He's a love bug. Ego, on the other hand, he's a terrorist. So if you walk, he's like, wherever you going, brother, let's go. You ain't got to do nothing for him. He's just like his mama. If I said, Zara, let's go. Literally that low. And when he says yelling, a dog got better ears than us. You don't need to yell. You need to figure out how to communicate with the dog. So engagement, treat, love, time, effort. That's a big thing too, people. Effort. Know your markers. We use the word markers, but here I would tell, this is the marker. Marker is know when to stop. It ain't a matter, oh, good. No, it's know when to walk away and come back to it. That's the marker. Is to know when to leave your dog alone, let it be a dog, come back out, and do a few more things over the next, few weeks at times. Anything else?
Like I said, take your time. Don't expect your dog to get it the very first time you showed him anything. Build the bond, build the relationship, show them exactly what you want them to do, and then give them a cue. So if you want him to sit, tell him sit. If you want him to down, tell him down when he's doing those behaviors. But make sure they're doing it successfully. That's the most important thing. You don't want to reward the dog when they're halfway sitting down or halfway down in or halfway coming back to you, because that's the way they learn how to do those behaviors. And when you actually need them to do it properly, when they bust out of the car, or when they running down the street, the dog's gonna be like, I can do it halfway. And that halfway may be, like you said, I got a dog that got hit because he halfway came back. So it's either all or nothing when you're dealing with a dog, and make sure you're clear about it. And like you said, stop when they are ahead, when they're doing it right. Do not try to get one more.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, hey, you know, like I'm about to go out on a win. Maybe just one more time. $40,000 gone. 40,000. You just like 40,000 because you was trying to test your luck. Boy, you already proved you was lucky. You better stop it. you better stop. Luck, like anything in life, has business, and remember, even work does. LeBron James, you know, I use him as an example. Jordan and any of the best of them play the whole game, but even they need a little break every now and then. They can go back out and perform, and even imagine having to play another game back to back at that level. They wouldn't be the same person. And gonna be another 40 and 40 and 20. Ali believed at one point he could take on George Foreman and Joe Frazier at the same time. He said, I think I do about 30 rounds, about 12 apiece. 15 would be a little too much, but if I get to about a 22 round, have him get in the ring right after that. He said, I think I could do it both. Then I'll go down as the greatest fighter of all times. It never happened. That boy that got slept dealing with George Foreman and Joe Frazier at the same time. Well, you better sit down somewhere. But neither here nor there, people. Look, life is a process, and progress is the most important component of moving the needle forward. My job is to effectively manage growth and everybody. And communication oftentimes, most of y'all think y'all telling somebody, ask somebody, and you're like, nah. I'd be like, repeat that. What are you asking? Do you know what you're asking? Because I understand context, and when somebody puts things together exactly wrong, they expect you to get it, and I know how to make it make sense. Are you asking this? Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I thought. And no. That'll be my next answer, is just no. So we're going to continue to have Stan work on his skills. He's got a buddy of his. Next episode, you'll see some training there. Jamarcus, what are some things you think you could have asked better communicationally? Because you're like chastising him, but you're not giving him any direction. If you show up to
the part where I liked was giving them direction, and I'm like, as far in this case, I sort of gave more context. For instance, like why people buy guides is because they want to be guided, right? So my point in doing this was like, okay, what next? What next? I need to be guided down this path because I don't know what to do with my dog, right? In a sense, kind of playing dumb, but yeah. Me kind of repeating, I didn't give much context into the scenario, which is why you were still sitting there with a confused look, and I also was just like sitting here asking the same question over and over and over again.
From a customer standpoint, when somebody does come, they're coming because they got to solve a problem. Exactly. You're at Walmart in the return section, you had a problem with a product, you want to return it. Anything specific to dog, you call a dog trainer because you potentially have a behavior issue, and he's going to help you work through impulses when you don't give people context.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's my thing with the guide, is everything is so specific. I'm trying to generalize it in such a broad thing, and you can't.
He's going to do a recall guide. The whole purpose of recall is to keep your dog safe. So it's a safety guide to making sure you and your dogs can communicate effectively. First step to recall, engagement, making sure the dog trusts you. I'm here to solve business problems. That's what I do best. Yeah. There should be no confusion. It's a recall guide.
And he actually outlined literally the context of what your guide can be in this already.
No, one guide at a time.
So break them into
one guide at a time. Nobody's going to look past about 3. unless you're, doing what we're doing. I get the videos of all them using our recipes and nutrition because they've spent a lot of money, and switching one little thing can solve all of their health issues in regards to their dogs and going to that vet for 420. Literally, I just got a message and someone reached out and said, hey, I spent this much, and the doctor wanted me to sign something where if they had to resuscitate my dog or do mouth to mouth, they wanted me to know that they was going to charge me extra $300 for that. So you got $420 you got to pay for this, and then $300 if the dog needs mouth to mouth resuscitation. You go, that ain't the move this morning. It's 1:17 and like 9 o'clock there per se. It's just too much going on with these vets, man. It's a robbery, to say the least, and you still don't even know what's wrong.
Yeah.
You say, well, what's actually wrong with my dog? What can I do to prevent this? It's just not the move. So less is more, and the more you can be effective, the more sales it'll get. If you do everything in one thing, a complete guide comes later. Right now, like the dog, you have to build interest in your community. You've got to build interest. What we've done is we built a lot of interest, which gives us the opportunity to say, what are the things we need to focus on to grow? Because if we do everything, we get nowhere. Education, nutrition. The education's rooted in nutrition and training. Those two things. Once I get outside of those, we get distracted and the business fails, to say the least. But we're learning, slowly but surely, people are in need of a lot of guidance, period. But simple, less is more. Always think about it. Less is more. Nothing more, nothing less. Food for thought, people. Like, subscribe, share. We're going to continue to show you these raw moments. One day, these two are going to be like A1, no sauce. It's all going to make sense. It's in these moments where we all get to grow collectively together. That's the goal. Nobody's better than the next person. Nobody's out here competing. I'm competing to make them great. That's my only competition. That's a bone he brought out of his cage. He had some ribs yesterday.
He had some ribs.
Some raw ribs. People get a little ribs. Well, them ribs was good too. And anything else?
Hey, nah, that's food for thought.
Stay tuned. Take care of your dogs, people.